Hey everyone, welcome back to Ask Amy. Sorry I'm starting a few minutes late today. I have a question today from Anne. Let me see if I can find Anne's question. So Anne says, I'm currently in the menopause stage of life and I'm feeling angry, jealous, hate toward my life and anyone in it. I want to manage my moods and feel happy again. How can I use your inside out theory to help my mind return to a balanced, happy state? Listen to your podcasts and watch your Facebook videos daily to try to remind myself that I can cope without acting crazy. Thanks in advance, Anne. So, Anne, I love your question and the honesty. I'm feeling angry, jealous, hate. I'm not making light of that, but really, I mean, to be able to show up and say, hey, here's what I'm feeling. Here's what's here. Here's what's showing up. I think that already kind of puts you ahead in many ways. And I know, you might be sitting there thinking like, okay, that's great, but make it go away, But honestly, to really look at that and say, hey, here's what's showing up. I'm going through a lot of changes. There's some crazy stuff happening in my body, in my brain, with my feelings, my emotions. And I'm feeling lots of anger, lots of hatred, lots of jealousy. I hate everybody and I don't want anything to do with any of it. That's like honest. It's just how you're feeling right now. And it's how you're feeling right now. And the more you can, so when I read your question, Anne, so you say, I want to manage my moods and feel happy again. How can I use your inside out theory to help my mind return to a balanced, happy state? This is going to not sound great, but the good news is that you're here saying, hey, I feel anger and hatred. That's what I feel. The bad news is you can't use this theory to return your mind to a balanced state. And I don't know how to manage your moods or how to tell you to manage your moods. Now, that sounds like bad news, but it's not really. See, your moods, as you know, as you're living right now, Anne, they have a life of their own. They're just doing their own thing. Your mental state, where your mind goes, where your moods go, what you're feeling, your emotions, life of their own. And I actually think that's like the best news there is, because we spend so much energy, so much of our lives trying to manage how we feel. And it's kind of a big old waste of time. And it's not only a big old waste of time, like, oh, I wasted my time and I didn't need to do that. But we spend a lot of time and energy there, and it usually makes things worse. So I'm guessing, Anne, when you have a moment where you just have this flash of anger or jealousy or hatred, that's one thing. That's just emotions, mind, moods having a life of their own, right? They just show up. You're not wanting this. You're not thinking it up. You're not doing this. It's just what's showing up. That's one thing. But I bet if you take a look, what really hurts is a minute after, when you're mad about what you're feeling and you're trying to manage your moods and you're wanting to feel happy again. And you're thinking, how can this dumb inside out theory that this Amy lady talks about help me feel that, not this? So it's the that, not this that we get really hooked into. I don't like this. I want more of that. I shouldn't be feeling this. I should be feeling more of that. That's where we suffer 100% of the time, no exceptions. Now, I'm not saying you love feeling hatred. I'm not saying you love feeling anger. You love feeling jealousy. But man, it can be a really, really different experience in anything that shows up when we're just like, it's just got a life of its own. It's not about you, Anne, and it's not like you're failing at menopause, failing at life because you haven't found a way to manage your emotions or get yourself back. No one has. No one has, really. I mean, not in any good way. People drink and they find habits, and they take all kinds of drugs, and they do all kinds of things to try to manage it. If there was something that worked reliably and consistently and with no side effects and no other issues, we'd all be doing it. It doesn't exist. So it's like our best bet. And again, it's not just our best bet, like, oh, here's the best we have. It's actual freedom, is to just feel what shows up, because what choice do we have? None, really. Feel what shows up. It's got a life of its own. It's not me. And just see it for what it is as much as we can. You aren't doing this, Anne. Like, you're crazy stuff's happening right now. So you can let it happen. Now, I get it. You might be thinking, or people might be listening thinking, yeah, but what if she flies off the handle? What if she hangs up on that person, or calls that person a name, or walks out on her job or something? Well, the thing is, like, yeah, of course, those aren't great things, but as we see our experience more and more for what it is, it's not you. We don't do those things so much. Like what I'm talking about, seeing it for what it is, takes care of what we all think we need to take care of. We think, I need to manage this, and I need to get myself back to a happy state so that I feel better and so that I don't mess my life up, right? I'm generalizing, but let's just go with that, right? So that I feel better and so that I don't mess my life up, I need to figure out a way to manage my moods. I'm just taking out the middleman. There is no way to let's just, again, assume there is no way to manage your moods. I don't know how, but what if they're just moods? What if you feel stuff and you just, okay, that's what's showing up, and we just let it play out. Like, again, the nature of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and all of this stuff, menopause or not, the nature of it is that it's in motion. It comes and goes. It defies management. It's not something we're going to have a lot of success controlling or reining in even. But what we do know about it is that it comes up, it comes to life, and then it moves away. And there's a refresh constantly happening, a bounce back to nature, a bounce back. Now, again, I don't know what you're going through exactly, and I'm guessing you're not feeling a lot of quick bounce back, and that's okay. But in the bigger picture of it, we feel stuff and then it moves through, and we always kind of come back home. We come back home. It's just human nature. No matter what's happening with us hormonally or physically or circumstantially or anything, we feel stuff, it comes to life, there's a movement back home. What gets in the way, innocently, is us thinking, oh, this is not okay. This, not that, right? I'm not supposed to be feeling this. I don't want to feel it. I need to manage things so that I can get more to that. And we muck it up. We slow it down. It's happening already. It wants it to happen by nature. So I want you to just look in toward like, okay, what if I'm just like, all right, life, bring it on. Menopause, bring it on. Just feeling what's moving through. It's not me anyway. I'm back here. Menopause is working its magic through me. What am I going to do? Think about like the difference in that. Again, if there was a way to jump in and manipulate it all, I don't even know what that is anyway. So think about, like, feel for the difference in being back here and just letting stuff show up, knowing it's not you. This is important. It's not you. It's not stable. It's not staying there. It's in motion. And that your nature is bouncing you back home. You're bouncing back to clarity, bouncing back to relative peace, relative freedom by nature. You don't need to manage that either. If you can kind of have an eye on those things and just let this stuff roll through you. I'm not saying it's always going to be fun or it's always going to be easy or that you won't say or do some things you don't regret. You probably will. We all do, right? Menopause or not, we all do at times. But the more we can have space and lightness around that, then you just clean up the messes you make, If you make a mess, you clean it up. But we don't need to get in there and try to prevent all of that, because it never ever really works well that way. So I hope you can hear the good and bad news in this for what it is, Anne. And hopefully just, again, knowing that you don't need to use this inside out theory to to bounce back home or to manage your moods. Like, it won't work that way anyway. Hopefully even just that takes a little off your plate and allows you to just relax in what you're feeling a little bit more, because truly that's all we need. If we just relax and let life move through us, it knows what to do, and it does so more easily than we could ever orchestrate or manage. So thanks so much for listening, everyone. Thank you so much for your questions. Send your questions to AskAmy at thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and I'll be back here as I am every Monday answering them. So have a great week. I'll see you next week.